Why is nobody talking about these mice? Keychron is a pretty huge company, mainly known for their mechanical keyboards. They have a ton of different options and are known to be pretty good for people who are getting into their first mechanical keyboard. But recently they have gotten into the mouse space and honestly have put out some pretty great products. Yet, I don't see too many people talking about them. So, I bought 2 of their mice to test out and see if they're any good and if they should be in consideration for your next gaming mouse. Let's start off with the Keychron M2 Mini. The M2 Mini is an ergo-shaped mouse that has a similar shape to the Lamzu Thorn, but it's smaller with more of a back hump instead of a mid hump. I haven't really tried a mouse that has the exact same shape as this one, so if you guys know of any that have this same shape or similar shape, please let me know in the comments down below. But the shape of this mouse feels super nice to hold in hand, and I've had no problems using this mouse for long periods of time. In fact, when I'm editing or doing some really long gaming sessions on my PC, I tend to drift towards using this mouse more than any other mouse on my desk because of how comfortable it is to hold in my hand. The coating on this mouse is basically non-existent, but the plastic does feel really nice and premium, and I've had no problems using this mouse or gripping it in game. This mouse has all of the top of the line specs that you would expect on a mouse coming out nowadays. It has a 3395 sensor with up to 26,000 dpi and 650 IPS. It is only 1000 Hz polling, but I'm a firm believer that 1K won't hurt your in-game performance at all, and I still can't tell the difference between 1K and 4K polling. It also has Huano Blue Shell Pink Dot switches and comes in at 53 grams on my copy, even though the Keychron website says it's only 50 grams. But this is a really good weight, especially for the shape and size of the mouse in my opinion. The sides and top of the mouse have no flex whatsoever, and the mouse feels very sturdy in hand. The main 2 clicks, mouse 1 and 2, sound very crisp and nice and have little to no post or pre-travel. The side buttons also feel very nice with no weird movement, and they seem to be very consistent. No post or pre-travel on these either. The scroll wheel also feels nice. It's centered on my unit and has defined steps with a crisp click when you push down on it. The bottom of the mouse is solid, and that's where you'll see the on and off switch, as well as the DPI button and a report rate button. The stock skates also feel decent. I've had no issues with glide or movement in game with them, so I wouldn't necessarily say these need to be replaced. This mouse is pretty cool with the fact that it comes with 2 USB receivers or dongles. One USB-A and one USB-C, which is cool that they give you that option to use whichever one you prefer. The battery life of this mouse is also exceptional. I have only had to charge it once when I first got it, and I've been using it every day for a few hours without any issues since then, so about 2.5 weeks. The battery in this mouse is pretty big at 600 milliamp hours, so if battery life is a concern for you, then you should not worry about it with this mouse. Overall, this mouse feels extremely good, and it seems to be a very good option for a smaller ergo mouse that's only $50. The fact that this mouse is so cheap and comes with a well-established brand in the keyboard space might make it appeal to more people who are skeptical of buying a Chinese mouse with the same specs. The next mouse I want to talk about is the M4 Wireless. This mouse is interesting to say the least. This is a fingertip only mouse, and there are not very many options for this type of mouse on the market from big companies as of right now. There are a few more set to release in the near future, but as of right now they are not out yet. I only have 2 fingertip only mice, those being this Keychron M4 and the G-Wolves HSK Pro Ace, and these 2 mice are very different compared to each other. The M4 is bigger than the HSK Pro and smaller at the same time. The M4 is longer than the HSK but thinner than the HSK, so it has a very different feel in hand. I personally prefer the shorter, wider shape of the HSK, but that is the only win I would give to the G-Wolves mouse. The switches on the Keychron feel more crisp and just more responsive overall than the HSK Pro switches do. The side buttons are a little easier to access on this mouse compared to the G-Wolves, and they also feel really good with no post or pre-travel on my unit. The coating of this mouse is exactly the same as the M2 Mini, so really not any coating at all. This is a little bit problematic for me with a mouse that is like this and is this small, because it can be a little hard to grip in your hand, especially if you get a little sweaty like I do sometimes in game. So I threw on some extra grip tape that I had from the HSK, and now I have no problem with holding this mouse at all. The performance of this mouse is just as good as the M2 Mini with virtually the exact same specs. 3395 and Hawano pink dot switches. The only difference really is this has a 300 mAh battery instead of a 600 mAh battery, and it seems to last me a decent length. I have used it on multiple gaming sessions, have only charged it one time so far. The skates are exactly the same as the M2 Mini, so they are decent. The only problem with the skate layout on this mouse is the area for new skates is pretty small, so if you want to replace them, you will most likely need to use dot skates. The donut, obsidian, and jade skates that I have are too big to put them on this mouse and have it be stable. The scroll wheel is tiny, but it does have well-defined steps and a deep, crisp click to it. The bottom of this mouse is also completely solid, and it has again the on and off switch, DPI, and report rate buttons. I think this is a solid option for someone who is looking for a fingertip only mouse. The fact that this mouse is only $50 for the 1K Hz version and $60 for the 4K is crazy. The G-Wolves HSK Pro Ace is $140, and the HSK is still using micro USB. And G-Wolves is known for having bad customer service. Compared to that mouse, this M4 is a crazy good deal compared to the rest of the market right now. So would I recommend this M4 mouse to your everyday gamer? No, I definitely would not. This is tailored to a very specific audience, and I think it is tailored for very specific games. Controlled games, I would say, are not best for this type of mouse, where you need stability and reliability in game. A small mouse like this, in my opinion, works better for a tracking game like Overwatch, Apex, or any other game like that. But if you're in the market for a mouse like this, this is a very viable and good option. I would recommend it to anyone who is looking at a fingertip only mouse. This being $50 and from a big company and in stock as of time of filming this video, I can definitely recommend this mouse. So Keychron has been making some really good mice recently, and I'm still surprised no one's really been talking about them in the YouTube peripheral space. So I will continue to see if Keychron keeps putting out great mice like this, and I can see why people have recommended me make videos on these mice. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, drop a comment down below, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button to see all of my future content. Again, thank you guys for watching. You guys are amazing, and as always, have a wonderful day.